And what's going on? I haven't made a video like this in a minute, but we are going to talk about it because it needs to be talked about. And it's wild how, as you go through therapy and counseling, it becomes more and more evident. It's more and more obvious and clear as day that I am in a narcissistic family structure, a toxic, dysfunctional family structure. Um, Again, when I literally left in July of 2020 because of how toxic my living environment was. And I left about an hour away. And honestly, the entire time I was an hour away, that was probably the most calm and peaceful my mental health had ever been because I wasn't surrounded by negativity and toxicity 24/7, and then I didn't have to deal with other people's mental health issues 24/7. I could focus on myself for a change. I didn't have to walk on eggshells. I didn't have to feel like I was being manipulated and used 24/7. Wasn't being guilt tripped, all of these mind games, and dealing with someone who has major control issues, someone who's super possessive. I was able to breathe. I felt better. Things were just so much better. Plus, I was like 15 minutes away from my primary care physician. So it was easy to make appointments. And at the time, the job that I had, I was working from home. So I had a lot more flexibility with my own work-life balance, where now I'm always at the office. I'm working 8+ hours a day, half the damn time. So it's just like, and I'm just at that point where I'm like, I can't do this anymore, So let's talk about it. So when you see the type of family structures that a lot of us are coming out of, and when we talk about narcissistic, dysfunctional family structures, you have the narcissists. In many cases, there's more than one. But okay, say you have a narcissistic parent or a narcissistic grandparent or parental figure. They're going to control all of the aspects of that family because they have control issues. I mean, you will notice with narcissistic people, they have to be in control of every little aspect of each individual in that family structure, okay? And then everyone is assigned roles depending on how they relate back to the narcissist, okay, or the dysfunctional person, okay? So, you have the scapegoat child or person in the family. You have the golden child in the family, okay? You have the non-existent one or almost the invisible child or person in the family. Like, everyone has different roles, all depending on how they relate to the person who's controlling the show. And the manipulation that'll be used, in that family structure is also very, you will see it. You will see that narcissistic person literally cause all kinds of psychological damage between the family members in the family. And they tend to do this with triangulation, literally using y'all against each other, praising one child while dismissing another child, or praising one family member while dismissing another family member, trying to make y'all jealous of each other, just all kinds of just passive aggressive, psychological, mental abuse that'll happen. And a lot of times in these households, and I'm just going to say it, when it's passive aggressive or it's mental psychological abuse, nobody sees it as abuse, because the way we've been taught about abuse is, well, if you're not physically being hurt or harmed, it's not abuse. You don't have any bruises. You're not bleeding. Meanwhile, you're sitting up here having to go to therapy and counseling because of decades of mental and psychological abuse. A lot of us, again, wouldn't have the low self-esteems we had in the first place if we weren't raised in these types of households and environments. I'm just keeping it real. You know, again, I don't have PTSD because I grew up in a healthy family. Okay? I don't have anxiety because I grew up in a healthy family. I'm not a survivor of child molestation because I grew up in a healthy family. Okay, that's all I'm saying, right? So, again, a lot of these issues are directly from the people that we grew up with who supposedly were supposed to be raising us. It is what it is, and I'm no longer sitting up trying to make it seem like that's not what the problem is. I wouldn't be going to therapy and counseling and having to spend thousands of dollars out of pocket every year for therapy sessions, because you all know how healthcare insurance is. You know, at the very least, you got a crazy copay or deductible. And every time you got an appointment, you know you got to come out of pocket for something. Okay? On top of the fact, you got all these self-esteem issues, you know, just all kinds of problems that are directly related to growing up in these households. So, as of right now, you know, I made the horrible mistake of moving back. And that was a horrible mistake. Like, just downright. You know, you think you're going to be able to save money and do this and that, but really you just see that you're just being nickeled and dimed the entire time. You're not really saving money. In fact, I was financially better off in Metro Detroit, where I had a $1,238 a month rent, than I am now. Because again, I'm paying for stuff that I don't own. Meanwhile, the apartment was mine. I didn't have to worry about random going on that I didn't want going on because it was my apartment. You know, I had a roommate. It was just so much better. It is what it is. Meanwhile, here, every time you turn around, it's nickeled and dimed, you know, and it's never good enough. A lot of us that grew up in these narcissistic families, we never receive proper validation because no matter what you do, it's never good enough for the narcissist. They're going to always find something wrong, you know, or you could do this or you could do that, or you're not the golden child, right? So the golden child can do no wrong. You know what I mean? They're going to get praised for doing the most bare minimum of things, you know, which I see this dynamic being played out with my uncle. You know, I mean, meanwhile, I'm sitting up here giving you money for this, paying this bill, coming over here every damn day, you know, because you always have some that's another thing you'll notice with the narcissist, very needy. They always have some type of crisis going on, right? Every time you go over there, this is going wrong. The cable don't work. The TV don't work. My phone is not working correctly. Can you do this? Can you do that? You feel me? So you're constantly running around trying to please them, even though you're never getting validation. Which again, going back to people's self-esteem, again, if your so-called parent is never validating you, how are you going to have a self-esteem? I'll wait. Again, I'll wait. And in my case, neither of my biological parents were really there in the way they were supposed to be. So I essentially have never received proper validation for anything. It is what it is. I mean, shit. These are things that you're able to acknowledge as you go through therapy and counseling. You're able to sit back and be like, well, God, no, I have not. I have absolutely not received proper validation. So, and then this also turns into people pleasing because you're constantly kissing the narcissist's ass. So then you tend to have these same type of behaviors outside in your platonic relationships, in your romantic relationships, in your work relationships, in your business relationships. You're constantly brown-nosing and people-pleasing because you're constantly trying to get that approval from somebody that will never give you that approval. You feel me? And I'm just learning, again, for a lot of us that are fleeing these dysfunctional, narcissistic family structures, the best thing we can do is to leave them behind. Like, we talk about, and this is something deep, we talk about going no contact all the time when we're talking about romantic relationships that are toxic. But nobody seems to talk about, or I should say, we don't hear about going no contact with family members who are causing the same amount of mental and emotional and psychological abuse and stress. We don't hear about that. And my thing is, if we're being told to cut off toxic romantic partners, then we also need to be told to cut off toxic family members and stop going back and forth, because it's never going to be right. Let's also talk about the control aspect before I get off of this, because I'm going to do a series of other videos on this too. But another thing that has to be brought up is when you're dealing with narcissistic, controlling, domineering family structures, you'll notice everyone's been infantilized. Like, seriously, I'm not allowed to have the car insurance, my own car insurance. You know, I've been asking to have the car insurance in my name for years. And I mean years. I can remember being 18, 19 with my first car, asking for the car insurance to be in my name. Right? Trying to get the consumers in my name. She won't allow that either. Trying to get the water in my name. She won't allow that either. Meanwhile, I'm the one paying the bills. So why wouldn't it be in my name? Again, it's a cycle of them controlling. They never want you to have any control over your own life. I'm sitting up here right now, working jobs, you know, the reason I went to college, etc. None of this was stuff that I wanted. This was stuff that she wanted. And now I'm like knocking at 30, like, well, I have all of this student loan debt. Keep in mind, both my grandparents had money, so it made no sense that I was taking out loans, and then I'm just going to go there. They paid in cash for their children to go to college, and neither one of them graduated. Yet, I'm the one with 4 college degrees. I had to figure out how I was getting to school on my own. Because again, y'all didn't pay for me to go to school. Y'all didn't help me get scholarships. Y'all didn't help do shit but sit up and be a damn burden and a stressor. But okay. Hell, I couldn't even get my mother's tax information so I could get the correct Pell Grant. That's a whole nother video in itself. Let's really talk about it. Okay? So this is what I mean by you're constantly being abused. They don't want you to have any control over anything. The financial abuse that goes into narcissistic abuse that nobody talks about, or the fact that I literally renovated the house that my grandmother is at because I was told, oh, well, you'll be staying here because I'm going to go back out to the other house, and she never did go. Meanwhile, I'm the reason why that den is renovated, my room got renovated, the bathrooms got renovated, the smaller bedroom, aka the office, got renovated. I'm the one that paid for the washer and dryer over there. I'm the one that paid for the damn furniture that's in the den. Okay? Meanwhile, what did I get out of that? Exactly. So that's why, and I'm already catching on to how she's trying to, play things over here. I'm not renovating a damn thing over here. And then that's another thing. Why am I paying taxes for a house that I don't own? Boom, boom, boom. And that's my whole damn point. And this is what I'm talking about by the financial abuse that will be done in these types of households. And again, it's always, you doing and doing and doing, and then you constantly feel like you got to carry your family. You got to help mom, you got to help granny, you got to help whoever. Meanwhile, is your family helping you do shit? I mean, really sit down and think about it. What are they doing for you? How are you benefiting from this outside of the fact that you're the damn mule? Okay, then. It's ridiculous. And I'm tired of it. So I'm finally at that point where, yes, actively applying for jobs that pay me my worth. Secondly, applying for jobs that's not in this area. So if I do get a job, I will have to relocate and dip out. So I don't have to be sitting up trying to figure out, I'm gone. I can't do it anymore. And I'm almost 30, and I think that's kind of one of the reasons why I'm at this point, because it's like, it's the truth. You get older and you see stuff for what it is. It's not getting any better. This has been going on for 3 decades. This was going on before I was born. Again, no telling how my grandmother treated my mother and uncle when they were kids. I can only imagine, because typically when you're dealing with these types of people, their behaviors just get worse as they get older. Okay, it just becomes more of an issue. More toxicity, more dysfunction. Like I said, it gets worse as they get older. And you start noticing this is just a pattern of behaviors. And then, like I said, these dysfunctional, toxic, abusive households, family structures, and environments literally set you up for failure when it comes to forming relationships with other people outside of the home, outside of the environment. Then you wonder why you don't have healthy relationships. You don't have healthy platonic relationships, healthy romantic relationships, etc. Because a lot of times you're literally reliving the same cycle, the same relationship style that you had with your first abuser. You're having that same relationship with everybody. You know, it is what it is. So, I'm doing what I need to do to leave. I'm done. I am tired. I am absolutely tired. You know, and then for me, also being a person of trans experience, you know, being a trans man, the misgendering and just the constant disrespect that I didn't have to deal with when I was not living here. Like, I just can't do it anymore. I can't. I'm out of here. You know, it's just, and again, I've been here 6.5, almost 7 months, and literally within the first 2 weeks of moving here, already had a mental breakdown. I absolutely hate being in this city, hate being in this county, and I do not like being around my family. It is what it is. Again, you can't heal in places that broke you. Okay? You can't. It is what it is. You know, you really just have to leave shit behind. And I'm already about to, like, if push come to shove, applying to Amazon, getting into Amazon, because at least there, you know, your benefits start the first day. There's sign-on bonuses, and you can stack your money real quick and still be applying elsewhere and leave. You know, you basically, you got to plan out your shit and leave. And when I leave this time, I'm not coming back. I don't care. Like I said, you can email me when somebody dies, and even then, I'm not coming. Because what's the point? You're dead. So I'm at that point now. I'm done. I done spent 3 decades dealing with this shit. You hear me? And it's just, again, do you want to do another 3 decades? That's really what it comes down to. You got to start asking yourself, how long do you want to stick around dealing with this? And I'm going to say this to all of the toxic, dysfunctional, narcissistic people. You're going to end up alone. Because, again, there's a reason why nobody wants to be around you. I'm just going to put it for what it is. There's a reason why you're by yourself. Look at how you treat people and how you do people. And that's just that. And if you notice, too, with these types, they treat the people that's closest to them like absolute shit. But yet will sit up and kiss ass to people that don't even give a damn about them. Pay attention. So, okay, thanks for showing me the past 3 decades how that's been. Because I'm finally getting the message. The writing has been on the wall, you know, and I can see clearly now. And I'm done. I am absolutely done. I can't do it no more. Like I said, after spending a year away, ain't no way in hell. Do you hear me? Ain't no way in hell do I want to be here dealing with this shit. It was so peaceful. And didn't think about it. I literally, and I talk about this a lot on my other channel, but I literally had a major surgery and didn't have any family support whatsoever. Keep that in mind. In the middle of the pandemic, keep that in mind. And the thing was, it was so nice not having them around. Because who needs that stress? Who needs that? And this is what I also mean by, especially, you know, not only leaving toxic relationships, but if you're in the LGBTQ plus community, a lot of times you're going to have to find your chosen family. It is what it is. Okay? Because your biological ones are not going, for the most part, especially in the black community, they're not going to be supporting. Okay? They're homophobic, they're transphobic, they're biphobic, very close-minded, yet want to scream and holler about racism. I mean, just the double standards is quite alarming to me. Like I said, let somebody call them the N-word and it's the end of the day. But in the meantime, they can use the F-word, the T-word, misgender, dead name, etc. all damn day. But the minute somebody says something about their black ass, and if the other person isn't black, oh my goodness. Again, y'all are so hypocritical. So hypocritical. And I just don't have time anymore. So that's that. But I just wanted to make this video again to vent about it because I haven't really talked about it on here in quite some time. And I'm just, y'all, I'm so tired. I am so tired of dealing with the BS, the disrespect, the drama, not being happy, you know, being just, I'm just tired. Again, life, I look at how I was when I was living away from here. I used to go walking multiple times a day in the morning. I mean, I would be up at 7 o'clock in the morning doing a 5-10 mile walk, jog, run with my dog. You know, I was going places and doing stuff and around things, and then I came back here and it's just like, oh my God, this place sucks. It is what it is, you know. And again, you can't heal, in my opinion, you can't heal in places that harmed you, broke you, did you in. And then how are you going to heal when you're actively being abused? Doesn't work that way. You can't be around the abuser and think that you're going to be able to heal. They're still in close proximity to you. Every time you have to go over there, it's utter chaos and disrespect. You stressed out, you sitting up hyperventilating in the damn car. The minute you see their name flash across your phone, you want to throw up. Like, it's just not worth it, man. And I'm done. I can't do it no more. And I don't wish this on anybody. Okay? I don't. That's it. I'm about to plan my exit and get on down. It's already been done. I'm getting my ducks in a row and I'm out. I just, you know, it's just too much. It's just way. And it took me a minute to get here, but I'm here. And I can say I don't have time for this anymore. You have to put yourself in a position to win, in a position to thrive, to prosper. Okay? You got to start caring about you, and that's real because ain't nobody else gonna do it for you. I'm out.